Hey guys, Nate here from Play Your Core. Today we're going to examine, are you really watching the ball? All right guys, we've all heard it. Every tennis pro you've ever taken a lesson with has asked you, are you watching the ball? Or they tell you, you got to watch the ball. All right, so let's dive into it. What does that really mean? Okay, what we're going to focus on here is the old saying, are you looking at the tree or are you looking at the forest? A lot of times when we're playing tennis, we're seeing the tree, but unfortunately visually we're picking up everything. So what that means is like you're seeing the ball, but you're seeing your opponent, you're seeing the backdrop, you're seeing the car that just parked behind the fence, you see the airplane up above you, hopefully not the airplane above you, but you're seeing way too many things. Your brain's trying to collect all this data. At the end of the day, the game is truly about just watching this yellow, arguably greenish tinted ball, right? And so what happens, our brain gets a little bit bored. We have a hard time just zeroing in, and we become a little ADD and we start focusing on a lot of different things. So what we're gonna talk about are tricks to get you to watch the ball better.
Do that again.
All right, for this example, we're using a pro pin ball here, and what we're gonna get you to focus on is actually the red lettering. So as this ball is moving, try to see pro pin in red, and you're gonna see a blur of just red turning over. And by focusing on this, you're gonna really train your brain and your eyes to only focus on the ball. Now the cool thing is when you start trying to look up, when you really try to start seeing the lettering on the ball, you're going to start seeing whether it's top spin or back spin. Heck, maybe it's like side spin, they mishit it, and you're going to see it on this weird axis, and you're going to know to really get your feet going. But this is how we truly watch the ball, okay? And by watching the ball, we're going to be able to anticipate better, we're going to get our unit turned back, we're going to get our feet in position. So watching the ball absolutely improves contact. All right, so next time you're on the court, if you feel like you've had a long morning or a long afternoon, you're a little spaced out, start getting trained, get your eyes used to reading the lettering, and this will bring your attention back to the ball and give you optimal performance.
Hey, this is Ian Westerman. I'm the head pro at EssentialTennis.com, where it's my mission to bring passionate instruction to passionate tennis players just like you. And in today's video, we're going to kick off a two-part series focusing on how to watch the ball properly. This is a question I get constantly, and I've actually written a blog article about it quite some time ago when I first started Essential Tennis. We'll link to that in the description down below. Today, I want to answer this question for Annabelle11, who asked me about it on YouTube. And we're going to break this up into two videos. This one, I'm going to talk about the process and how you should be watching the ball, what you should be focusing on during different parts of the process as the point is taking place back and forth. And in the video after this one, I'm going to use the ball machine and show you a little drill that I like to use to help my students improve their ability to focus on the point of contact. And the reason why this is so unbelievably important is because, in my experience, tennis players
Hi, this is John Craig with Performance Plus Tennis, and in today's video, we're going to work on a vital skill that everyone needs to improve in order to play their best tennis. And it's all about watching the ball, and what watching the ball is really all about. So like most tennis players, we've been told hundreds and hundreds of times to watch the ball. And in fact, we've said it to ourselves many times after we've missed a shot. So if we know that watching the ball is a vital skill, how come we're not better at it? And is watching the ball enough? Today's lesson, we're going to break it down and help you see the ball better so that you can play much better shots.
I've got a sister that I can hang out with. It's pretty cute when you get home. You get home in 2 months. Oh, she's cute.
I'm going to BYU.
Are you serious?
One of the most common instructions in tennis is watch the ball. And we hear it over and over and over, but we still have a hard time really hitting that ball at the right spot at the right time. So why is watch the ball so complicated? Well, I think a lot of times people don't really understand what watching the ball really means. Everybody looks at the ball, that's obvious. The problem is that you're sometimes not looking at the ball at the right time. Let me try to clarify that. If I am playing tennis and the ball is on the other side of the court, I have a wide focus. I'm looking at the ball, I'm looking at the opponent, I'm looking at the court, I'm looking at the situation. As the ball nears to me, my focus needs to narrow. So as the ball gets closer, I'm focusing more and more on the ball.
How do we watch the ball in tennis? Hi, Thomas from fieldtennis.net here. Watching the ball in tennis is a very special skill, and we often hear on tennis courts, watch the ball or keep your eye on the ball, but what exactly does that mean? So in today's lesson I want to clarify that, and I'll show you how you need to watch the ball so that you make good clean contact with the ball and have good control of your shots.
Let's first take a look at how a pro watches the ball. So this is me playing with Borut Urh. He's a former ATP player. His highest ranking was around 280 on ATP. So we can have Borut hit a few balls and you can compare your perspective of what you're seeing with his perspective. So this is how Borut sees the ball. What I've done here, I've frozen the video and I wanted to check if Borut is looking at the ball in his contact point. So here, not so clearly, but the previous one you could see the racket. So obviously if we can see the racket in his field of view, that means he's really looking at the ball, he's not looking at the target. And so if we freeze, we can see that again. We can see Borut is looking at the ball well and he can actually see the racket, although in reality he would see the blur of the racket.